Hello folks, I'm back. Now I've got my glasses on this time so I can read from the bottles. I was straining, I really was straining, I'm getting old. Today we've got the Fursty Ferret badger. At the heart of many a countryside village can be found an inn. This one tells a story, I like this already. A place where locals go to relax after a long day. At one such inn, rumour has it that inquisitive ferrets would sneak into the back door to cheekily sample the local brew. A sweet, nutty palate, hoppy aroma and a hint of Seville oranges gives this tawny amber ale its distinctive personality, recommended with smooth and creamy West Country cheddar or indulgent pork pies and mustard. What else does it say on here? Well, it says to see, we'll take a proper look at it when we pour it, tawny light golden brown. The smell is delicate spicy hop, orange and malty, and the taste is malty sweet bitter balance. That's pretty much it, guys. It doesn't really say anything else. Drink responsibly, of course. www.drinkaware.co.uk. Don't go out getting drunk. It's not big, it's not clever. It's a laugh, isn't it? www.badgerales.com, 2.2 UK units. So there you go, guys. It's 4.4% as well. I've not had this before. I genuinely have no idea with any of these ales that I've tried. It does make me laugh when I say ales like that, because normally I just say ale and people think I'm talking about the feathered variety. That's the Essex boy in me. There's a nice little cap on this one here, look, see that? Brewed in Badger, Dorset. I'm sure it's not, there's not a place called Badger, that's the name of the company. Brewed in Dorset by Badger. Even I got that, folks. Mermaid. Carbonation on the top there, quite nice. Give it a pour into my lovely favourite Spiegelau glass. Now these glasses, folks, are really nice. They're proper beer glasses for connoisseurs, and they're very, very thin, easy to break, but the thinness keeps the beer cold, which is what I quite like. Very light carbonation in there. You can see me all the way through it though. Hello. Very light carbonation, but for me, 2-finger head on that. That might be just the way I poured it, of course. I've got very small fingers, folks, as you can see. Very girly fingers, girly hands, but an enormous... Right, so, let's give it a smell. Quite a dry smell there. Trying to see if I can get anything off of it. Malt, other than malt, really. There's a slight, distinct, orangey, zesty smell, but it's very, very slight indeed. Quite dry. Not a very pleasant smell, I would say. I don't like the smell very much. It smells a bit like socks, you know, sweaty socks. But it's very light. It's not an overpowering smell. There's definitely a slight hopness in there and malt, but yeah. Just get comfy here on this chair while I have a chat to you, folks. Let's give it a taste then. This is the tester, isn't it, folks? For me. Now this will be my 4th ale in the series of me trying ales, and it may very well be the last one. I'll have to have a look, see if I've got any more. Am I converted yet? No, I'm not converted, folks. I wouldn't say I enjoyed the, what was it called? Honeydew? There it is, folks. Look, it's just over the side there. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. I would say it was alright. Yeah, I'd rather have a lager, and I'd rather have a cider. So let's give this one a taste. Yeah. Okay, let me just put the glass down there and tell you. I'll have another sip in a minute. Tell you what I'm initially getting. Quite malty. A subtle hit of citrus there. Very subtle, not overpowering. Very dry indeed. Not as smooth as the previous ale, I would say. The honeydew was a lot smoother. This is obviously a slightly darker colour as well, which I'm sure affects the taste. The darker it gets, obviously the taste is going to change with it. This is definitely an ale. It's more close to an ale than it is a lager, unlike the previous honeydew, which was closer to a lager. It's quite dry. The bitterness is there. However, I can cope with it. It's not overpowering, I would say. The hops are right on the back end. When you've swallowed it, right at the back of the drink, you get a slight hop hit. Obviously, I don't know what hops are in this particular brew. Again, if you guys know what's in the Fursty Ferret, leave me a message below. Let me know. I'll be interested to hear what hops are in it. Obviously, I'm not a hoppy person, so I can't distinguish really easily between one type of hop or another. I've only really got into hops because I tried a hoppy cider and it was okay. I quite liked it. I went back to it recently. I had a few bottles left in the shed. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I put that down again to my palate changing over the course of the last 6 months or so. I've not really been drinking as much as I used to. I used to drink quite a lot, but I don't drink as much as I used to. As you guys know, I've had a bit of a break during January. I didn't really drink during the course of January, apart from sampling the lagers that I had on the go. Obviously, you need to sample them to make sure that they're ready. Little sort of egg cup or hydrometer tube sized samples. Got that out in the end, didn't I? I can still taste. It's interesting about what I'm finding. Okay, let me try and explain this, guys, as easy as I can. As a lager and a cider drinker, I'm quite used to getting, particularly with the ciders, obviously you're going to get an apple hit. That's what you're after. You're after the apple hit. You're going to, boom, get slapped in the face with apples, and you're going to get this gorgeous apple goodness that really refreshes your palate and makes you feel like you can conquer the world. With lagers, obviously, lagers are drier than most ciders, certainly, that are on the market. I tend to find that with the ciders, medium ciders that are sold as medium ciders tend, for me, to be nearer to sweet ciders, and dry ciders tend to be closer to medium. And you need to go right at the far end of the spectrum for a dry cider to get a proper dry cider, I think. But the interesting thing about that, of course, is that, you know, throughout 12 to 18 months or so, my opinion on that may change. If you stick a sweet cider and a medium cider and a dry cider in front of me now, today, I may have a different opinion on that. And that's what I think is interesting about the human palate, is that during the course of such a short period of time, our tastes change, and they change all the time. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm into psychology. Some of you will know that I studied psychology on the Open University for a short while before I jagged it in because it was doing my head in. But I'm really into, you know, the way we as human beings are separate from anything else that's on the planet. Right, we're completely different to animals. Animals don't have this concept of palates, or they've got no idea what beer is. And I find it fascinating that, you know, through such a short period of time that our tastes change. Certainly, I've noticed it in me, and I've spoken to some friends, and they say exactly the same thing. You know, one day they'll fancy a cider, the next day they'll have a cider. They go, oh, yeah, I don't really like this. So it'll be the same cider they had, you know, previously, and they said it was fine. It's because the palate changes. Now, your taste buds obviously are replaced all the time. Your taste buds die. And then, especially if you're having a massive curry, right? I do eat a lot of curries, folks. I must apologise for that, but I do eat a lot of curries. I know I'm rambling, but bear with me, I'll get to the point. So, our taste buds change all the time. Mine change quite dramatically over the course of 12 to 18 months or so. This time last year, I was way into ciders. 3 days ago, I went into the shed, and I emptied out the shed of turbo ciders that I'd made. At the time I made them, I enjoyed drinking them. This week I went into the shed, I opened them up and I tasted them and I didn't like them and I threw them away. I had 7 crates of turbo cider and it pained me to throw them away, but they were all in plastic PET bottles, and PET bottles tend to only last sort of between 6 to 12 months or so before they start turning into vinegar essentially. And you'll know when they turn into vinegar because you'll get that, your neck goes out like that, and all sorts of weird and wonderful things happen to your palate. They're on the verge, so I had to chuck them. Now I've still got some turbo ciders in the shed. I doubt I'll get through those, and at some point I suspect I'll end up chucking those as well. But, you know, this time, in 6 months, I might be back on the ciders again, because, you know, it's like a graph. If you draw a graph of your taste palettes, your taste buds over the course of 18 months or so, it'll go like that. It certainly does with me. You blokes might say, Roy, you're talking a load of old toss, and you're entitled to say that. That's your prerogative. But certainly for me, it goes like that all the time. At the moment, I'm into lagers. I'm trying the ales. Can't get on with them, guys. They're still too bitter for me, I think. I can't go too far towards the ales, really, beyond a lager. And when I say lager, particularly the kit lagers that have got ale yeasts in them, that's enough. That's as far as I can go, really. I can't really go too far that way. And the problem with that, of course, is it limits my home brewing to just ciders or lagers. That's a shame, but that's just how it is. It's pointless me making gallons and gallons of beer if I'm not going to drink it. It defeats the object, doesn't it? So, I've rambled on enough now, folks. I'll give you a last opinion on this. Let me just have another little sippy poos and give you another opinion before I go. Yeah, it's not too offensive. I'm not offended by it. It's not too bitter. However, it's slightly more bitter than the honeydew. Out of all of the ales I've tried to date, oh, bing, come in. The honeydew is, for me, the favourite. But that's only because I think it's closer to a lager than an ale. And all the others are essentially ales as we know it, folks. So that's all from me. Hopefully you understand what I've been banging on about. Please leave me some messages below. If I've confused you, I apologise. But I do try and explain myself in such a way that people can understand what I'm banging on about. I don't always get there, I know. And I go off in tangents. But that's just the way my brain works, folks. It's just, you know, these things keep me awake at night. What can I say? Hope you've had a great week. I'll see you in the next review. The next review is going to be a cider. It's going to be an Aspel, but it's not going to be the normal Aspel cider. I think I did an Aspel over the Christmas period. This one is going to be a different Aspel. It's a flavoured one, and I'm really looking forward to it. In fact, I might go and do it right now. Yeah. So I'll see you in the next video, blokes. Have a bloody good week, day, whatever. See you next time. Cheers. Love you all. Mwah.